Good morning and welcome to Studio 5 going live, sort of lunchtime-ish on, I think it's Wednesday today. All the days are sort of all coming together and it's just one day after another. Before I go into book cloth, which I'll be going into this afternoon, for those of us who are mildly interested, what I thought I'd do is play catch up and show you the book that I had attached the boards to yesterday, and then you'll be able to see how it works and what you think of it, and you can make your own mind up, or you could try it yourself. Now that could be a thing. So what I'm going to do is just take the book out of the press. Okay, so it's basically been in the press overnight, and I tend to MDF boards. They're nice and easy, they're relatively inexpensive, and they're easy to keep clean as well. I don't varnish them because I feel that can impede drying. You know, if you've got a waterproof surface against something that's wet, the wet surface is going to stay wetter for longer. So I like to use something which has, you know, got a little bit of, I suppose. So here it is. It's been in the press overnight. First thing this morning when I came into the studio, I trimmed down the foredge, so we can now see that the foredge on the board is now trimmed to the correct size. And I was able to do that after I had attached the boards, and that way I can get it, you know, exactly where I want it to be. Also, if the text block is slightly out of square, if you're doing any restoration work, it means you can just tweak the edges of your boards just to make them sort of fit and look right and everything else. So that's it. I haven't sanded this watercolour paper down at all, and I do have to say that sort of area where the cords have been laminated onto the board underneath the watercolour paper has, well, it's flat basically. There's a minute amount of sort of undulation, but it's very, very, it's just there. I can just feel it. It's at the point where I'm thinking, do I sand, don't I sand? And in this particular case, I don't think I am going to do any sanding. But if I were to do any sanding, what I'd be using is a silicon carbide paper, P4, 400 grit, whatever you want to call it. And I know some people, they will use quite a heavy sandpaper to take off the main body first of all, and then spend the rest of the day trying to get the scratches out they've made with increasingly finer papers. I like to start off with a finer paper to start with, obviously wearing a mask and, you know, following all the health and safety things, and that seems to do it for me. And maybe I just chamfer the edges of the board so it's got a nice gentle slope to the board. But what we can see from this is that the boards are really nice and flat. They're not curving at all, because everything's had time to dry. You know, it's not a rush job. And so that's basically, all that's needed is the hollow, spine sorting out, and then this is ready for covering after back cornering, of course. The opening is really very, very cool. It does open beautifully with nice angles and nice steps, and it is it's a very simple technique for getting pretty good results. Anyway, that's the book that we were attaching the boards to yesterday. There it is. I think it's turned out okay, but hey, I'm only the maker. Anyway, thanks very much indeed. See you a little later on for book cloth, where it could get gloriously messy. Anyway, thanks very much indeed. See you later. This is Studio 5 going live at lunchtime. Oh yeah.